Welcome to Bigfoot Archery podcast. Well, what I wanted to talk about was your little bow building adventure, because I think that will pertain to the world of archery and the craft.
All right,
That's pretty crafty.
It is pretty crafty.
Yeah.
We can talk about all of that.
Yeah.
And then we got Bowhunters
We got
Weekend.
dates. We got events coming up.
Commissioner's tag thing.
Yeah. A little bit of Wyoming news as far as that's concerned. The draw happened here for big game.
Well,
Sad for some, decent
yeah,
for some.
I was about to say, I don't know that the draw happened because if it,
You're hiding behind your mic.
I'm doing it again.
Yeah, I looked up at the thing and all I saw was your head. Was the white box.
Oh. One of these days, we will be professional podcasters. One of these days. I don't know. All right. So we did officially start the podcast. What you did was the actual start, not a practice.
No.
Okay, good.
This
All
is
right.
for reals.
All right. I'm Carlos. This is Roy. In case you forgot who we were.
Yeah.
All right. So where do you want to start first?
Oh, we could just go through the dates. I got them pulled up. So Cheyenne Field Archers, we got lucky enough to receive a commissioner's tag, and that's open to anybody in the United States as far as I know.
That's right.
It's you pay the club $100 and you get entered into the drawing. I think you're up to 4. Maximum of 5 per person. So it's 5 ticket entries per person.
So if you didn't draw in Wyoming, regardless if you're in residence or out, you still have a chance at getting a really, really boss spot in the state, because what's different about the commissioner's tag is it is not limiting you to any specific area. You get to choose, even if it's one of those hard to draw limited quota.
As long as it's public entry land, you can go for elk, pronghorn, or deer.
That's right.
I wonder does it cover whitetail?
Yeah.
Because
Any
the
deer.
way we lump together deer here,
It's any deer.
Yeah.
But
Because there's some big whitetails up northeast.
oh yeah, in the
Up by Devil's Tower.
yeah, the
That's trophy land.
whatever forest, the South Dakota,
The Black Hills.
the Black
up there.
Hills, yeah.
Dude, there's some mondos.
I want to go up there. Like, oh my gosh. I know most people don't think of Wyoming as whitetail country, but we have whitetail. I killed a whitetail when I first got
I
back.
know that the duck commander and buck commander guys come up every year,
Yeah.
and they hunt on Devil's Tower, the little farms next to it.
Maybe we need to go there, man.
They kill some
And
big
that's
ones.
public. That's like
There's
that's general
It's
tag.
mostly public.
Yeah.
Generally, you can only kill does though.
No.
Up in that area.
Really?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I hunted it before with the general tag.
Huh.
Yeah, but with that commissioner's raffle, it goes July 1st is when they're doing the drawing date. I think they're selling up to that date. The information's on CheyenneFieldArchers.com. You can buy it off of there. There's a QR code and a email.
It's up to 500, the number of tags that we're selling. And when I last checked a couple weeks ago, we'd only sold 150 or so,
Yeah, it was like a 150.
which to me makes it a nice draw. So I'm not dissuading anyone from buying, but you're not going to break my heart if you don't.
Yeah, it's kind of like a catch-22. You want the club to raise money. I was trying not to think like that.
I know,
because it's
man.
kind of I mean, the whole purpose of it is to help the club, but the hunter and the guy who wants the tag is like, well, should we be pushing this?
I know, right? Well, so here's the
But-
thing. I do want to help the club. Roy wants to help
Yeah.
the club because we're trying to make Cheyenne Field Archers the premier place. Like Greg, so shout out to you, Greg. Or is it Greg? No, Gary. So actually, not shout out to you, Greg. Don't get your head all big. Gary and I have been working on the website, and so we put Wyoming's Home for Archery for the new website that we're
Nice.
building. And that's one of the things that we really want to live up to. And it takes a lot. It takes a lot to make a club a premier club. And as you guys know, Roy and I are passionate about promoting archery, and there's no better way to do it than by doing it through our local club. So please consider buying. $100. I know it can sound like a whole lot in this economy, but I promise that will, if you end up drawing, that's anywhere in Wyoming, anywhere in God's country.
That'll be epic if somebody we know gets that thing.
Lord, please let me draw that tag.
Be packing me. I'll go walk around for free on that one.
Yeah, buddy.
So, but that'll be cool. And then we got TAC coming July 12th and the 14th up in Colorado.
That's coming up quick, dude.
Yeah, that's going to
be
be
fast. I have not been practicing like I should.
I am going to probably end up taking my 3D target bow, my Elite, just because I'm scrambling. I mean, I drew that antelope tag, and that's coming in August. And my hunting bow's like half put together and ready to go, so...
My 3D rig is not ready to go. We need to do those sight tapes.
Yeah.
Actually, that might be a good time to kind of explain to me how that works and how to...
Yeah.
This is new technology to me. Roy is beyond a genius when it comes to technology.
I'm just good at learning new stuff like that. It's just my nature. Coming up in this world, coming from Nokia phones to what we are now, you kind of have to learn quick.
Dude, I remember the Zach Morris phones for those old enough to remember, but I never owned one.
Yeah.
I am not good at technology, and this blew my mind.
I mean, Archer's Advantage is good, but I think this is what Archer's Advantage would be if they went forward. Because I think Archer's Advantage has kind of been stagnant.
Ooh.
I don't know. The website design just looks like it's from the mid 90s, maybe early 2000s. I'm not sure because I haven't been using it but a couple years. But Precision Cut has so much more in it. I mean, so you build your profiles on there. So I got my Bowtech and I got my Elite. And what's really cool...
Are you allowed to say that you have your Bowtech on there?
Well, I think so.
Okay.
So you can do... There was a range forgiveness that I found on here.
What does that mean?
Watch this.
Whoa.
So my Bowtech is a little faster because it's going to be what I'm going to hunt antelope with. So I go to that. So you put in your altitude. You put in a diameter. What's the kill diameter on elk? 10 inches, 12 inches?
I mean, like maybe a foot and a half.
We'll just punch in 12.
All right.
Just because we're precision archers.
I like it.
All right. So now, at 40 yards, I could be plus or minus 8.5 yards on my tape.
Oh.
And still within 12 inches.
Yo, that is pretty...
So for all you heavy arrow hitters... I mean, this kind of debunks a lot of that quickly. Because if you go side by side with my slower target bow, the forgiveness level and the plus or minus yards on a slower bow, I mean, you got to be within 2 yards, 1 yard to hit it.
Oh.
So let's go back to my slow bow, my Elite. We'll do 12 inches.
That's not your hunting bow, right?
No, this is my 3D bow. So look at 50 yards, you got to be within 4. Within 30, you got to be within 11. 6.5 yards at 40. And out to 100, 1.8 yards, or you're not going to be in 12 inches.
All right, so for the record, seeing as I don't think Roy was ever a heavy arrow guy, and I was, and to be honest, I still kind of am. When I say heavy arrow, I don't mean for backcountry bow hunting. I used heavy arrows when I was stationed in Nebraska because I wasn't shooting over 40 yards. Yeah. Like, because I'm up in a tree stand or a ground blind. I'm not moving around like I would be for elk. And I already have my shooting lanes to where I'm not going to hit a branch on an
fixed yardage situation.
Exactly. So for me, like if I would, especially if I'm going to be, hog hunting down in Texas and I'm going to be up in a ground blind or something.
Why not?
So heavy arrows are okay for that.
They have their place.
But for backcountry bow hunting, what I learned when I first got back and I was shooting at Kurt Gowdy, and that's going to be where Bow Hunters Weekend, we'll get to that later. my buddy and I, Cliff, the legendary Cliff that I've been talking about for the last couple of episodes, he and I were shooting at longer distances, and my arrow had hit a branch that I didn't think that I would even clip, but it just was not a flat shooting arrow because it carried the 600 grains. So
Yeah.
it's it just makes more sense for a flatter trajectory.
So on my faster bow, 100 yards, it's plus or minus 2.8 yards on the tape.
That makes sense.
When the slower bow was like 1.2, I think it was.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I'm. So I finally broke. I think at your daughter's birthday party is when I ordered my arrows, the Quantums or Quantum Blacks or what?
Yeah, the black label. Quantums.
Black label Quantums, and I went for a 340 spine, so it's going to be a little bit lighter. It's probably going to be about the 400
That's
to 420 range for how many grains. So
that's going to be nice.
Yeah.
That's going to be good. And then you got wind drift, cut
What
charts.
do you mean wind drift? What is that one?
So you can put in, let's see. Select my
Like tells you to do
arrows.
Kentucky or what?
So looks like you can just make a tape. You can print this out and just keep it handy.
Yeah, put that like a dope sheet.
Yeah, like a little dope sheet for windage at all different distances, 5, 10, 15, 20 miles an hour.
Yo.
I mean, this is a powerful little website. I think it's worth pretty much the dollars.
I don't think we ever said the website. What are you looking
Archers Cut, Precision Cut Archery.
There you go. Yeah, buddy.
I'm looking at the cut charts. The cut charts are real cool. So if your rangefinder doesn't do automatic yard cutting, you can print out cut charts from this pretty easy. I mean, those are pretty self-explanatory. You got the yardage on one side, your angle on one side, and then your shoot for distance. So 25 yards at a 35-degree angle, you're shooting it for 15 and a half.
There's some geniuses who made this kind of stuff.
Yeah, this thing is, and it's easy to navigate. I mean, going through the setup for the bows is easy. One thing that drives me nuts on Archer's Advantage is they don't have like updated sights. On here, they got pretty much every site you're gonna find. All the black gold, CBE, HHA, Redline, Spot Hogs. What are these? Sherlocks.
Oh, Sword.
True Glow.
Yeah, they even still have Sword. I wonder how Sword's doing. I wouldn't
never
have
heard of
minded.
that.
You haven't heard of Sword? I wouldn't have minded that. I remember when I first heard about them almost 20 years ago, but I think they changed hands a couple of times, and they're just not as out there. But I mean, I wouldn't mind shooting one if I remember.
I mean, this thing's pretty figured out. And then you just put in your peep height when it's at full draw, your sight radius at full draw, and then to sight in, I've just been putting 20 and 80 yard range in there, and then take my calipers and get a real tight measurement, and then it asks for a launch speed. That's the biggest difference, I think, compared to Archer's Advantage. They don't ask for a speed. You can manually enter one in Archer's Advantage, but then it doesn't take into consideration your gap between your two known ranges.
Mm-hmm.
It's either one or the other in Archer's Advantage. You can't, it doesn't take it all in and poop something out like this one. And I mean, I put it on my Elite and I shot a round down in Fort Collins and it was pretty much perfect. So
Is that one when you saw the weirdo trad dudes?
yeah, the trad guys.
Wait,
I'm gonna
hold a
add a
second.
little blurb of that into this video.
Wait, it's not the trad guys. I shoot
I'm
trad.
pretty sure it was a cult.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
This isn't
because-
against the trad guys, but they were trad guys.
What are they doing?
'Cause they were shooting trad.
Freaking me out.
Bare bow.
You
It
gotta.
was wacky, man.
So I know that you're gonna splice in.
Yeah, I'll splice the video in, but what I saw I'd never seen in my life. I'm telling you, these guys were doing like hot yoga at 7 a.m.
I think I just
It
found
was
a cult.
something else.
But you said so. The clip that you showed me, where they were doing like weird
I don't wanna stop
motions, like
recording
Tai
'cause I
Chi
don't know what's
looking
gonna happen.
motions
They were-
and stuff.
out there.
I thought that was like a warm up.
No. They
You
did
said they-
every end. They were doing
we're
this
bowing to
weird
the
dance
archery
and
gods.
stretch and rain dance type thing. I don't know, but that was probably the closest I've ever been to a colt.
Colorado is
I don't
wild.
know. I mean, it was broad daylight at 7
What am
a.m.
I looking at?
Early morning colt action in Fort Collins. Go figure, Colorado. But yeah, precision cut archery is the bomb.
Well, that's
And
definitely something. I need to
Altitude,
do.
you can do different altitude tapes. I might try that out when we go out to TAC.
I thought you said there was the same altitude.
It was
as
actually
us.
pretty close.
Yeah?
So yeah, we might be all right.
What was the difference? Because I can't imagine a hundred foot
It
is going to
wasn't much.
be that big of a deal.
No, it wasn't. It was close. Let's see.
Because
Pull it
that's
up
one
real
of the
quick.
things too. When you're hunting,
Yeah.
you could literally go up several feet in elevation while hunting elk.
Yeah.
Easy. Heck, several thousand, depending on where you are. I can't imagine. I wonder, do they do like a dope sheet for elevation change instead of having a different tape? Because I'd much rather have a dope sheet than have to slap on.
You can print out a sheet, but I don't know if that would work because you'll be referencing your old marks still.
Yeah.
I
'Cause
don't
I-
know. We'd have to mess with it.
Because whatever the case is, if say for example at 11,000 foot elevation, I have to aim, I don't know, higher or lower. If it's 40 yards and I'm supposed to pretend that it's 35, I'd rather do it like that
Mm-hmm.
than having to stop, put on a new sight tape for that elevation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's 8,000 feet at Sunlight Mountain.
Oh, that's 2,000 foot elevation higher than us.
So theoretically, you'd be a little faster, no? Because that's been my experience.
So yeah, it'll have to be a different sight tape, I think.
Or just take 2 turns out of your bow. That's what I did.
Sure.
And that's what I do if I go hunting and I'm hitting high. I just take a little bit out of the limbs. Slow it down a little bit. We can try it. I wonder if we could just type in the elevation of Sunlight Mountain in this. Print one out. But then, it's hard to recreate out here. We would have to go up high and check it.
See, this is the beautiful part about archery and why to us it's fun, because it's always a puzzle to
Yeah.
be solved.
It's never a cut and dry situation.
No.
No. So, but yeah. So that's that. What else? Oh, did we talk about Bow Hunters Weekend?
No? Let's talk about Bow Hunters Weekend.
So we got Bow Hunters Weekend coming Saturday the 3rd of August and Sunday the 4th. Setups on Friday evening, looks like.
Best daggum hot dogs you will ever eat,
Hey.
I've been told.
Man, I lived behind the butcher's block, and I will fight somebody in line for them things. There ain't many foods that I get too riled up about, but they're the bomb. And a Popeye's chicken sandwich. What? Those are the foods that I would fight
I
for.
was about to say, I'm not serving a Popeye's chicken sandwich at Bow Hunters Weekend. So I'm in charge of
I was going
concessions
through
this
the
year.
list in my head of things that'll rile me up.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I don't want people thinking, oh, yeah, Carlos is going to be serving Popeyes. I'm not serving Popeyes. I'm serving Butcher Block quarter-pound hot dogs. So even if you're not going to shoot and you want what apparently are life-changing hot dogs, again, it's going to be on the 3rd and the 4th, you said?
Yeah.
3rd and the 4th of August. So plenty of time for y'all to plan. It's going to be at Kurt Gowdy State Park. We're going to have, how many targets we got? I think probably like
Should be 20... 40.
we got 40 targets. A big old lion, a velociraptor, I want to say.
Yeah.
We have all kinds of different, a
We're
moose.
supposed to be getting new cores by then, too.
Yeah. We're going to have a Bigfoot hopefully by that time.
That's the plan.
Oh, man. I might put Bigfoot archery, I'd stamp it with Bigfoot archery just because.
We need to get a brand. So
so it's going to be super crazy fun, and all levels of experience, because even for like the cub division, that means the kids, we have, young kids to super old adults.
11 and under is free.
Yeah.
So bring your kids and plenty of arrows.
Yeah. Super fun.
Yeah.
Get people outdoors.
Adults are $30.
That's the thing that drives me insane. So my nieces are visiting during the summer. They always do, but this is when they're actually here. They're at the skating rink right now. And I don't understand why I have to tell both my kids and my half-sister's kids to go outside. When I was a kid, you could not get me to come inside until being yelled at, even after the lights came, the street lights came on.
Oh yeah.
But now it's hey, go outside. Stop playing video games. Go outside. It's a beautiful day. What's wrong? What are you doing?
They're too comfortable.
Take your kids outside.
Yeah.
Go to bow hunters weekend. Even if you don't know how to shoot, there are going to be plenty of people there who will be happy to show you how to shoot. Like say for example, there's going to be some freaks of nature like Roy who are going to try to win the belt buckle. That's cool. But there's going to be people like me who don't shoot as good as Roy that aren't going for the belt buckle, and I will take my time, and other people like me who don't have a shot at winning a belt buckle will take our time at showing you how to shoot.
You got to enjoy the process.
Yeah, because there's something for everybody. Yeah. Now, like I just mentioned the belt buckle. I saw the belt buckles. There's some good-looking belt buckles. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
So shout out to Bullseye Archery here in town, because I think Mac was the one who footed the bill for that. And they are some, for you competitive folks out there who can actually shoot, like Roy and my buddy Cliff, if you happen to win that belt buckle, I can't imagine you wanting to take that thing off. It's like the championship belt from WCW, WWF, WWE, whatever it's called now. It's pretty daggum impressive.
Yeah, yeah. So that'll be fun. We got stuff coming up. And then the draw happened. Did you draw anything or no?
No.
Nothing?
I am not a lucky man. That's why I had a tumor taken out of the back of my head. That's why I have wrist surgery, ankle surgery,
Cliff
shoulder
drew
surgery.
A cow.
No, I'm not lucky.
But he's still up in the snowies.
Yeah.
His area.
Yeah, I'm not a lucky dude.
He should have just got a general tag.
Well, I mean, technically,
no, if you apply for one, then you gotta wait.
He can still get a general because of it's a cow tag.
We're general tagging it.
I'm general tag.
That'd
yeah.
be fun.
Well, you're not. So you did draw though.
Yeah.
You can't
I drew
say
a good goat area.
Yeah.
I'm pretty fired up about that antelope because it's. Remember, I said I grew up hunting up at the Miracle Mile.
Sure.
That area. It's up in that area, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna try to get a big one. We'll see. I mean,
we can film that hunt too.
It might be worth it. I'm gonna. I put in some work on the old digital Onyx here, finding some good spots. I know that I'm pretty familiar with the area.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of antelope out there. Just got to find the right one and get to them.
There you go.
They're skittish.
So you going to be over a water hole, you think, or are you going to try to do the old spot
We're
and
going to
stock?
have to see how the weather is.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if we get rain and water. I mean, then the water's everywhere, then it's kind of pointless. Yeah. So, but if it's dry, I don't have a problem sitting and waiting on something. So we'll see what the weather brings. I might make a few trips up there before just to see what the foliage looks like and maybe see what the prairies look like, if it's dry or wet or what the deal is.
Well, let me know. I got we can even take this camera out. Like I said, I know y'all can't really tell in the video, but Roy is 7 foot tall, and he and I would not fit in a ground blind together.
No.
So we'd have to do. I'll set up my camera to get the angle, a different angle. Then you can. I mean, you got GoPros and whatnot, so we'll have all kinds. And I think that'd be a pretty cool video, to be honest with you.
Dude, if we can get one over the watering hole, that'd be sweet.
Like
make some good video.
And if it's a spot and stock, I'll be your camera dude.
Yeah, I might have to get one of them umbrellas with the antelope on the front of it.
I have a couple of. I think I have a pronghorn decoy that I can hold for you too.
Okay.
Like one of those flat 2D.
Yeah.
Whatever.
They make some
Montana decoy.
Yeah,
one.
they make them on umbrella handles too.
Yeah.
where you can like put it in front of you and walk and try to sneak up on them like that. Have you seen the bow mounted ones? I would never use one.
I have a bow mount.
Do
I
you?
have for elk.
Yeah.
So technically, I have one for pronghorn, but it looks like a moo cow. So that's why I'm not too worried about using the moo cow one.
Yeah.
Because I don't think, unless you're a really terrible human being, I don't think too many people are going to try to shoot moo cows.
Yeah, I don't think that would happen.
So I have a moo cow one that I use during pronghorn season. That actually got me pretty close 3 seasons ago during bow hunting, and I just needed it to actually come in because it let me sneak up on it, but it didn't let me sneak up on it like 70 yards, 60 yards.
Kind
I was
of one
like,
of the only times I would ever want wind.
right,
Because if it's dead slick calm, you are not sneaking up on an antelope.
right.
So, I mean, shouldn't be too hard to come by out here. Get a little wind.
Yeah, it shouldn't
Just
be.
not 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about hunting season nonetheless.
Oh, yeah. It's going to
yeah.
be here before we know it.
Yeah, dude, and you heard Roy. He said, even if a pack out, that's how dedicated we are to
Yeah.
hunting. It's not necessarily about us having to poke the animal. It's just being part of the hunt. Which, if you have a successful hunt, the majority of that hunt is going to be the pack out and dressing, and quartering, processing. That's
That's
the
when the
majority
work
of it.
starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Learn that young.
That's beautiful, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So we're already getting our schedule full. Now we just need one of us to get the commissioner tag and win on the raffle.
Man, I would love even if now again, like I said, I'm not a lucky dude. Like it just seems like life does not like me. But my buddy Cliff and my buddy Roy, if either one of them won the commissioner's tag, I'd still be tickled pink. I know, at least from my buddy Cliff, if he needs a pack out buddy, I know that I'm going to be one of those phone calls because that was actually one of my favorite memories with Cliff. I think I told you this one, right? He calls me in the middle of the night when I first just got stationed back here in Wyoming. This was in 2020. And it's in the middle of the night, and he's sounding tired, angry, disappointed.
no.
And he's like, and when I say just got back, my house wasn't even unpacked yet.
Wow.
And he's like, do you think you can go help me find my cow elk? I shot it. I don't know. And he was searching around for it and whatnot. Again, this is way late into the night. And yeah, I've known Cliff since 2006. So he's like a brother to me. So there's no way I'm going to tell him no. So we go out there, we track that sucker for 4 or 5 hours of tracking.
How far do you think it went?
Well, so it didn't. I think we bumped it at least once, at least per the blood trail that we found, and it didn't go but maybe 200 yards away from where he shot it, from what I remember, as far as the crow flies. But it probably
Just stumbling
zigzagged
around.
and whatnot. And this was a young calf.
Yeah.
This thing had a lot of will to live, though.
They're tough.
And he put like 3 arrows.
So the calf took 3 arrows.
Calf took 3 arrows. So sorry for the interruption, folks. Had some technical difficulties. So it took 3 arrows to get that calf. And boy, howdy, the best part was, as far as the dressing and dressing the animal and packing it out, we weren't but 100 yards from the road, I don't think.
That's perfect.
That is perfect.
Nice.
So, but yeah, I mean, when it comes to hunting, Roy and I are not just about the thrill of killing something. We're about every aspect of hunting. So that's the point that I was trying to make there.
My favorite part is taking new people, man. I've taken my wife's her nephews and stuff hunting.
Yeah.
And they're 20-some years old now, and they still talk about it. When I took them when they were 9 years old, I took them goose hunting and all this. They were like, we got to do that again. So I really get a kick out of taking people that don't normally get exposed to that sort of stuff.
You ever play pranks?
Yeah.
I love pranks. But this is my favorite prank. You tell me yours. So I'll take either chocolate covered almonds or raisinets, depending on the animal that we're going for. And so for all those hunters out there, you know where I'm going with this. So if a brand new person is hunting and they don't know what it is, I'll try to teach them, hey, you got to look for sign for these animals. And when they're not looking, I'll pretend to pick up like elk poop, which could be like a chocolate covered almond. And I'll pretend to pick that up from a pile of elk poop. And I'll go, you see this? You got to figure out how fresh the sign is to see if they're anywhere near here. It's like, you see how when I'm squishing this isn't really squishing? And I'll go, that means it's not super fresh. But you see how shiny it is? Because it's still a little shiny, that means it's probably, I don't know, maybe about a week and a half. But there's only one way to find out just how fresh. And I'll pop the whole thing in my mouth and watch their face, and I'll go, and then I'll, take one of the real elk poop and pick it up. It's just like, I don't get too grossed out by it. And I'll put it in their hand and see if they'll even take it. And then right before, they that's one of my favorites, dude.
One time I got little Roy to eat trout eggs fresh from him.
Nice.
Man, he was mad with me on that. He'll never let me forget that. I was like, you got to try these. They're the best. People pay thousands of dollars to eat this stuff. No, they're terrible.
Oh, man. I love pranks, man.
Yeah.
It makes it so much fun.
It's fun. Stuff you don't forget.
You ever use the butt out tool? You ever heard of that?
Mm-mm. Oh, is that the thingy you stick in the butts and pull them out? It's kind of like barbed.
Yeah. So one of my buddies, when I was stationed up in Minot, we were hunting, and I can't remember if, I want to say it was my whitetail, but he had never gone hunting. I already played one prank on him, so I guess he thought that I wouldn't play another. And it wasn't really a prank. It was just joking around with him. He'd never dressed an animal before. And for me, I didn't learn about quick quartering.
Yeah.
Like, this was not a thing until I got
I didn't
here.
learn that till I got away from hunting. When I was hunting my grandpa and all them, they did it all the old school way.
Yeah.
And now I do it all quick quarter.
And so we used the butt out tool. I think it was Hunter Specialties that made this one. I don't know if there's any others. But the way it works is you stick this, look like a weird boat anchor or weird spearhead into the rear end. You twist a couple of times, you pull out the intestines, you tie off the intestines because it makes for a easier cleanup.
Yeah.
And so anyhow, this dude had never gone hunting, much less killed an animal and dressed the animal. And this was his first foray into, he'd read the books, watched some videos on how to do it. And now he was going to do it by himself, and I was going to watch and help and coach.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a terrible human being, I made it super awkward for him. And so while he was inserting the butt out tool, I was like, no, Adrian, don't do it. And just the look on his face, he was like, dude.
That's funny. Yeah, I just do the gutless method nowadays. I just take the legs off,
That's the way to
quarter
do
them
it.
out, and don't really mess with the guts much anymore.
That's the way to do it.
Besides cutting those inner loins out, but kind of just try to do that the quickest, easiest way to get the meat off of them. During that antelope hunt, that's going to be a big deal too, because it's going to be hot.
Dude, do you know how to cape an animal? I've never caped an animal.
No, I haven't, but...
So if you get a good one, like say for example, you see that pronghorn skull.
Yeah.
So technically that's a pretty decent one.
Yeah, what is that thing? I'm trying to look at the measuring mode of how you do that. For, what is it, Boone and Crockett?
Pope and Young
Pope and Young.
for archery.
Yeah, Pope and Young. I was looking at their measurement style and all that stuff. I just don't have a reference.
Yeah.
So I need to look at some more antelope.
So the only one of the reasons why I didn't try to do a mount on that one is it didn't have as much mass. It's really tall.
Yeah.
And it's really nice. It has the ivory tip and everything. But here's the thing. I also don't know how to cape. I've watched a couple of videos.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, when the moment comes, I'm still gonna mess it up, and I'm just gonna be like, I don't know, just.
So I just boil the heads.
Yeah.
Just be done with it. Just your own. Yeah. So.
But if you end up getting like a record of Wyoming,
Yeah,
I would hope that you'd mount
If I get a Mondo, who knows? We might spend some money. We'll see. I mean, there's opportunity. It's a good area. I've seen some big ones over there.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I'm excited just to get out there.
True
It's
story,
coming
man.
quick.
Been doing a lot of fishing, been doing a lot of hiking in preparation.
Summer projects.
Dude, it's summer projects, yeah. So
Yeah.
I just I need to focus on the hunt now. It's coming quick. I can't believe it's already almost July.
I know. Well, and it just started getting hot. It feels like we had a late start to summer too.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. If we have a colder, I would much rather it be colder during September than hot.
Oh yeah, that's better for everything.
Like I need this cool weather.
Last year, it was just wet when I was up in the snowies. There was water. It was green everywhere. I mean, the animals were dispersed because of it. So, we'll see what... We had a pretty soft winter this year compared to the year before because we had a lot of kill-off last year, last winter.
Right.
And this winter was certainly warmer
Yeah.
because last year was brutal. So, hoping to have a good year this year. I think the antelope were the ones that took a big hit that year before. That winter before, I think they even cut some licenses because they had so much
They had to.
antelope kill off.
Yeah. The good part is they rebound pretty quick.
Oh, yeah, they're hardy animals. Been around forever.
You know what animals I'm actually afraid of being able to kill? I don't know if we had ever talked about it or if I ever put the link, but you got these Canadian super feral hogs that are trying to make its way down from Canada into the United States. And the feral hogs down south, they don't want to come north because it's a little cold. But if they're coming from Canada, they're already used to the cold.
Yeah, that would be something if we ended up with hogs out
Dude,
here.
that would be bad for elk, I think. Like, that'd be one of the few times that I'd be all about wolves.
Oh, we're whacking and stacking if we get pigs out here.
I hope you would think, dude. They're hard to control. Here's the thing: if Game and Fish said, "You know what? Not only will we allow you to hunt these things with impunity, but you can hunt these things at night, and we'll pay you."
Wyoming would let us take at any.
I think
way
for sure.
we
I think
wanted
the
to take 'em.
ranchers
Oh,
would definitely, because the ranchers technically control Wyoming.
Yeah, they would give us the green light to have at it.
But dude, I tell you what,
They
hunting,
would have to make it a long way though.
They're big too. They're not like,
They're a little more poofier. They look like a little bit stouter.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
these things are no joke.
Yeah.
And
We'll
I hope they don't make it down, but if they do, then yeah, whack and
I think
stack
they
'em.
have them in Arizona, don't they?
The super hogs from
No,
Canada,
just regular, like the ones they have in Texas. I think they've made
Yeah.
their way into Arizona
Oh, yeah.
and all that. So
all
I mean,
in the southern
they're gonna be
states.
coming up through Colorado. I bet you here soon. Southern Colorado, New Mexico, all that area.
I think the pigs are trying to take over the world. They're trying
Yeah.
to pincer movement. They're trying to sandwich
flanking
us.
us when we ain't looking from
Holy
the north.
smokes, dude!
So,
You know what I'm really excited about? My longbow.
Yeah.
I know that's something you kind of wanted to
Yeah, we
talk
need
about.
to dive into that.
Dude, I am telling you. So bowyers are a dying breed. So bowyers are people who make custom handmade longbows and recurves. So I'm working with my buddy Lester from Crying Mouse Archery up in Laramie. He's 70 something years old, and he's passing down a whole lot of knowledge. Like this past week, he agreed that I could be his apprentice, and so I want to learn the craft. Because here's the thing, sometimes people will watch videos. Like, say for example, we're talking about MFJJ, right? A lot of people watch MFJJ because the guy's brilliant, and he'll say reflex, deflex. But I guarantee you that the average archer, when they hear reflex, deflex, they have zero clue on what that truly means and why it matters. And when you're talking about longbows, because Lester only does longbows to my knowledge, he does laminated bows or self bows. We can go into that more in a different video, but I'm learning so much about archery dynamics, about how a bow uses physics to launch an arrow. It's more than just carving wood. It's so much more than that. It's been an awesome experience.
Now imagine the stuff that goes into these compounds.
Oh, the science that goes into them?
my
Oh, for
gosh,
sure.
The engineering.
Yeah.
That was like, I was talking with some big guy shooter down in the Springs. No, down in the Springs, down in Fort Collins. And they were talking about how Matthews has the bridge lock this, bridge lock that. I'm like, okay, but the guys that don't use the bridge lock stuff, they're still paying for that engineering and that research and development that went into that. And it makes a proprietary little cloud that you got to live in.
Sure.
So that was kind of one of the things that you're going to pay for the research and development no matter which way you look at it. And the engineering in these new bows is wild.
So it cannot be overstated just how much archery technology has advanced even in the last decade. I have a decade-old bow, and even though it shoots well, putting it side by side with my bow that I have today, and this is just a decade. I've been shooting for over a decade. Even if putting them side by side, the feel is different. The technology to make things quiet, to where people used to put stabilizers on to dampen the sound.
Mm-hmm.
So for sometimes people, they kind of forget that, because a lot of these bows, almost every bow on the market right now is already super quiet.
They're
and
all
dead in the
really
hand.
quiet, yeah.
Whereas before, you'd put like a doinker. That was a funny word for some people who, I haven't seen too much of doinker lately. But anyhow, now it's all about just the stabilization, the balance of the bow.
Balance is the big thing now.
Because these
Everything
bows are
is
so quiet that
Yeah.
you don't have to add too much to
Yeah.
get the quiet down.
Yeah.
So even in that regard, and that's like bow geometry.
Yeah.
That's dispersal of energy equally throughout the bow. That's
Yeah.
pretty impressive.
Yeah. The long risers, I think, are kind of coming back. More parallel stuff, for sure. Longer axle to axle is kind of trending, too.
It goes in ebbs and flows. I've always been a longer axle to axle guy, even though that I'm not very tall. And the reason for that is I like the much
Angle.
steeper string angle.
Yeah.
If it's too lean, like, it's weird. I can't get a good anchor.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep, I'm starting to see that, too, for sure. What else? What else do we got going?
I don't know, man.
Just getting ready for hunting. I'm gonna shoot severs for antelope. I have some 1 3/4 for that.
That's what we need to do for next episode, is do our loadout. Go through
Yeah, we could do that.
our gear list for everything.
Yeah.
I don't know how much backcountry I'm going to do this year, because I'll be doing a lot of elk camp kind of hunting, because I'm teaching a couple of guys from
Yeah.
my Catholic men's group how to hunt. And one of the few times that I took somebody out backcountry hunting, it rained on us, and
Yeah.
he wanted to go home a lot sooner. And I was just like, dude, we're going to dry out. Water dries.
Yeah, I don't mind it, but it's just in the snowy. I don't know where we hunt in the snowies. It's just, to me, you can get high enough on a road and walk 5-6 miles and be in pretty deep. I mean, if you look at a map, the way I dissect a new area, I look at the roads and I look at the spaces where there's not roads, and try to find those big gaps, those big holes where there's nothing, because them elk are going to be where people aren't.
Sure.
That's all there's to it. If they're always getting ran around by humans and cars and all that, they're just not going to be there. So, I mean, if you can find the spots where there ain't roads, big gaps between roads.
Well, see, I'm not going to find your spot, because you're going to blindfold me.
I'm
you said.
blindfolding you. You're not allowed to take your Onyx.
Whatever, dude. I got
You're
to
getting
have
a
my
paper
phone.
map,
A paper map.
and I'm going to scribble out the key so you can't tell where you're at. You just see landmarks.
I'm going to be lost. I'm going to get eaten by a
No, you
bear.
get the landmarks, but you ain't getting the main area.
Oh, my gosh.
No, I was going to set up a trail cam and just leave my tent up there this year. Every year, I don't do it, but I'm going to do it this year.
I think I have a trail cam still, if you want multiple trail cams.
Yeah, because I got a 15 by 20 wall tent with a big old stove in it. It's huge.
Okay.
So I was just going to set it up and leave it up there September, because typically I'll end up there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all September.
Dude, I'm taking all of September
And taking that tent up and down that many times is just, it ain't worth it. And nobody goes where I hunt anyway, where I set my tent. So
I'm taking all of September off.
yeah, so I was thinking we could just leave that up there and come and go, take your cod in, and
Yeah.
if you want to stay in that area.
Yeah, I mean, so I have I don't think you've ever seen the tent that I use for elk camp. It's called the Oz tent. That might be like a cool gear review video that we can do
Yeah.
because this thing sets up in 30 seconds. And that's not a lie.
Yeah,
Like,
I looked it up when you were talking about it. I think a few months ago at one of the shoots, but yeah, it looks super cool.
it's not something that I can leave out though. It's
Yeah.
not one of those things that you
Yeah.
leave out.
No,
So,
but
yeah, dude, I'm excited, and
it's gonna be here fast.
that's something that you guys can look forward to in the next episode. That's one of the things that when Roy and I we get together, we don't have like this elaborate, board where like on this episode we're going to talk about this, and then, like, look, we're real people with real jobs,
Yeah.
and so we do what we can to share our passion. But just now, it seemed like that was a pretty cool idea to where we can talk about the gear that we plan on using this year, how we're going to set it up, how we're going to use it, and why we chose this gear. If you guys have any ideas for what better gear to use, or leave it in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on that bell notification, all that good stuff. And yeah, help us grow this channel. Please help us grow this channel because I think that we're a little different than the other channels. We're not sponsored by anybody. We're not necessarily looking for sponsors to control what we say. We're just real people doing real things the best way we know how.
Yep. And I've underestimated my children's energy now that they're not in school. Dude,
I've been trying to track you down to do an episode sooner than today.
every day I get home from my 12-hour work day, they're like, let's go do this, let's go do that. They're like Make-A-Wish children every day when I get home. Oh, they're running me ragged.
That's beautiful though, man. Like
Me and little Roy are building a motor for my truck.
dude, that's awesome.
So-
I need to hire you to help me fix my 55 Chevy
Yeah.
because
If
I
I
need
touch
some
a
help
Chevy, I
on
might break out. I'm a Ford guy.
that. You're a Ford guy. You're a loyalist. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Now it's life has been getting super busy. I have one more tumor to get taken out, and so please pray for me. I don't think it's anything to worry about, but you never know until they send it off to the lab. Hopefully that'll be my last surgery.
I told you I'd cut that out. No problem. Free.
Dude, they had to send me to get a ultrasound just to see how close it was to the vein in my neck.
Yeah, there's a good vein
So,
there, so you don't want to
Yeah,
get
you
that.
can't be just like slicing and dicing just
Get the
because
old
you're getting.
Avalon out.
Man. All
Right
right.
on.
You want to sign us off?
All right. You guys have a good one.